It's no secret that Pokemon fans can be spurgs. While there's nothing inherently wrong with liking the games, or even replaying them now and again, or even having autism, there are people in the fandom that take things a lot more seriously than you would expect. You have those who dedicate their entire free will to competitive play. Obviously, there's the TCG scalpers, and of course, you have the die-hard Nintendo defenders. However, there is another subgroup of Pokemon fans, and really any fandom, that is quite a bit more degenerate than your typical Pokéthusiast. The thing is, like half of the internet is made up of either gambling or pornography, and just like almost every other facet of the internet, Pokemon is no stranger to NSFW material. Vaporeon, Lucario, Gardevoir, Jinx, practically all of the 1025 Pokemon are drawn up on DeviantArt for all to see, in just about any compromising position you could think of. Autism and degeneracy go together like Jack and Coke. Many people suffering from autism lack proper social awareness, and this leads them to behaving in bizarre and sometimes degenerate ways. While the subject of this video isn't quite Daniel Larson degenerate, he still would have been lobotomized about 60 years ago. This is going to be your one and only warning. The stuff in this video is going to be so graphic and disgusting that I will have to blur most of it. So if you don't want to see or hear about a man being vored and shat out by a dragon, then maybe this video isn't for you. Without any further ado, this is the story of Reshiram and her very loving husband, JustinRPG. Justin Michael Coolidge, age 41, was born and raised in Michigan. Due to his moderately severe autism, he attended a special needs school from 2003 to 2008, and he has some college experience. He lives with his mother, who of all things is a car enthusiast. And that is basically all we know about Justin offline, as there isn't much info on the guy. That being said, we do have an eyewitness account of Justin in the wild. Or the Safari Zone, I should say. Imagine you're attending your public speaking class at a community college. Introverted and simply wanting to complete your core classes, you share a lecture hall with none other than Big J, Justin. All you have to do is go to Reddit and ask u/of Azure Skies, as he has lived through this experience. I'm not going to say the name of the college or what city it was located in, but it's in Michigan. I signed up because community college is cheaper and I just wanted to get my gen eds out of the way. This was my second semester at the community college. I signed up for public speaking this semester because why the hell not? I have social anxiety, so I figured this would help me somehow. I come into class and sit behind this dude that absolutely smells terrible. I sit behind him the next few classes because I had a good view of the board. I wear glasses, but it soon became too much and I moved across the room from him. This guy is always interrupting our professor while she's speaking. He constantly asks questions without raising his hand and just blurts them out. All he ever talks about is Pokemon. He won't talk about anything else. He mentions having a wife a few times. Me and the class just shrug him off as your typical game-obsessed dude that just happens to really like Pokemon. Fast forward a couple weeks, and we're giving our speeches on a topic we're an expert on. We always do vocal warm-ups to help loosen our lips and get rid of anxiety. One of the tongue twisters our professor gave us was pre-shrunk shirts. Pokemon dude blurts out,
"I know how to say shrunk because I have a shrinking
fetish." The class goes silent. The professor kind of ignores him, and we go on with the warm-ups. He eventually presents, and his topic is none other than Pokemon. It seemed pretty normal at first. An explanation of what legendaries are, the different types, and how to evolve Pokemon. Then, he gets to a slide explaining the legendaries more in depth. At this point, the whole class knows that Moltres is his favorite Pokemon because it's all he'd ever talk about. Moltres is on the slide as a surprise to nobody. Lugia and Reshiram are also up there. I don't think much of it. They were decent examples of legendary Pokemon. His pictures start to show up on the slide, and that's when we all saw it. Him getting vored by Reshiram. Most of the class is oblivious to what it is along with the professor. Be a few kids in my class who looked at me with wide and knowing eyes. None of us could believe that this was actually happening. He finished his speech saying something along the lines of,
"And next time you see a Reshiram tell you it's comfortable in her mouth, don't listen to her. She will swallow you."
At this point, I am in absolute shock that this happened. I tweet about it and only mention the shrinking fetish and Reshiram voring him. I made sure not to mention him by name because I'm not that much of an asshole. I get one reply jokingly saying, JustinRPG is back, and another guy asking if the name is Justin. I'm fucking floored because I swear I have never mentioned him by name in any of my previous tweets about him. After a bit of explanation from a friend, I found out exactly who JustinRPG is. I listened to one of the videos my friend sent me that had his voice in it, and yep, that was 100% Justin in my public speaking class. I'm still floored that this dude is 1. Real, 2. 31 years old, 3. Goes to my college, and 4. Is in my class. Now, I'm sure that was a lot for you viewers to take in, so why don't we have another segment of the video going more in depth about his disgusting and depraved fetishes. Yay!
Well, I don't know why I came here tonight.
If that Reddit post wasn't blunt enough for you, Justin is known for his fetishistic renderings of Pokemon in the most abhorrent of situations possible. Some of his special interests include, but are probably not limited to, vorophilia, the act of being eaten or digested, also called vor. Unbirthing, exactly what that sounds like. Macrophilia, the sexual interest in giants or beings of massive proportions. This can be observed with most of the Pokemon that he is seen with. This also includes his self-admitted shrinking fetish. Rape fantasies. Coprophilia, the sexual interest of excrement. Many of these scenarios involve him eagerly devouring the booty butter of the beast that towers above him. And possibly zoophilia. We'll get to that one later. And I don't mean like his sexual interest in Pokemon. No, I'm talking about real life zoophilia. Allegedly. I'm sure I'm forgetting something here, and honestly, I hope I am. Every one of you motherfuckers at home better hit that subscribe button right now, because researching all of this has left me with severe trauma. Now that we know in painful detail what he beats his Blaziken to, it's time that we finally unravel his legendary love life. Justin is most well known for his relationship with the Pokemon Reshiram, the box art legendary of Pokemon Black. It's a pretty cool design, all things considered, I think we'd all agree. But Justin's entire personality revolves around this Pokemon. He has made art. He has written erotic fanfiction. He has even produced songs about this fictional creature, which I have to show you, of course.
Reshiram and I got married at Dragon Sparrow Tower back in March. It was love at first sight. Love each other, love each other, love each other, love each other. Sing with me, Reshiram. Love, 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 love.
And yes, he really did get a tattoo of a fucking Pokemon. It may seem like Justin has fully dedicated his love life to Reshiram, but that is simply not the case. Justin's situation is actually a lot more complicated than it may seem. You see, Justin and Reshiram are not exclusive, as Justin not only has 2 ex-wives, but also a harem of various fictional side pieces. He was previously married to Moltres, as we could assume from his brave college speech on Pokemon. He would also force himself to consume a hot pile of Moltres shit, but at this point nothing should surprise you. Also, I can't find concrete proof on this one, but supposedly he had a marriage with Lugia as well, although he did write a song about being vored by the legendary Pokemon, so I guess that is something. Also, I just learned that Lugia is not a water type. Like, bro, I could have sworn he was a water type, but I digress. I probably can't go through all of them because his DeviantArt is deleted, but he has fetishized at least 16 other Pokemon, including, but not limited to, Machoke, Palkia, who he has been raped by, and Arceus, you know, the literal god of the Pokeverse. And that is the most soy thing I have ever said. Cut that out. Some non-Pokemon fantasies include Cloud and Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII, Gilda from the My Little Pony series, and a bunch of generic dragons. As I'm sure you've noticed, Justin has an odd fascination with fire-type Pokemon and other fictional characters. Of course you have Reshiram and Moltres, but there's also the Flame Atronach from Oblivion. You can read this horny lunatic's ramblings if you'd like. TLDR is that A, he wants to have sex with a creature made of literal fire, and B, he acknowledges the fact that he will be slightly burned on account of his partial fire resistance granted by a spell. Which will just help him resist it, it won't fully protect him, as with the power of the spell, he will not be engulfed into flames. You know, maybe he wanted to be slightly burned by it, because that would give him some kind of sick pleasure. He probably puts his mom's cigarettes out on his body and pretends Reshiram is burning him. Rumor has it that when he linked the flame at the end of Dark Souls 1, he was bricked the entire time. Plus, you kinda get vored by Frampt to get down there, so that's like the cherry on top for him. Justin is quite the creative writer, we'll say. Why don't we take a read at some of his famous works of fiction?
I was walking down the street and a magic man said that my wife just urinated, so he sent me to the inside of my wife's bladder. He didn't know that my wife was a Reshiram, nor did he know that my wife was not even human. He just knew that she urinated. His magic told him that. He has no clue that he sent me to the bladder of the Reshiram. He assumes that he sent me to the bladder of some human girl. When I got to my wife's bladder, I find that it is indeed empty. I must now wait for her bladder to fill up when urinate, so she can urinate and let me out. When her bladder is full, she will urinate and let me out, unless she has a reason to hold her urine in. Then I will drown in her urine. Keep in mind, Reshiram does not know that I am in her bladder.
Some wife she is.
Urine in her bladder. Urine exit out of your wife. Just urinated, so the inside of their bladder I send you.
A tear just ran down my leg, y'all. That was so emotional. This next one is about the Pokemon Ho-Oh from Pokemon Gold and Heart Gold as the box art legendary.
I was walking down a path when a female Ho-Oh spotted me and she started seducing me, so I thought I would gonna have sex with her. Her seduction was so good that despite the fact that Ho-Oh are not Pokemon that I want to have sex with, I wanted to have sex with this Ho-Oh. This Ho-Oh had one feather that was lighter green than the rest of her feathers, something that no other Ho-Oh has. During the sex with this Ho-Oh, I made absolutely sure that she was pleasured, as I do with all Pokemon. I gave this Ho-Oh multiple orgasms. She told me that nobody has ever pleasured her like I did. She then said,
If anyone tries to hurt you, you come see me.
She wanted me to be protected for life. An hour or so later, I accidentally shrunken by a Xatu. With me being shrunken, I could not get Xatu's attention fast enough so she could reverse it. She was out of sight within 15 seconds. After another hour, I continued walking down the path and the same Ho-Oh saw me. She picked me up, gave me a hungry look and said,
Now that you are small enough, you are my food now.
She knew it was me, the same guy who pleasured her a couple hours ago. My Reshiram tattoo was not easily unnoticed. I knew it was the same Ho-Oh by her lighter green feather. Ho-Oh then swallowed me and put me in her stomach. It did not matter that Ho-Oh wanted me to be protected for life earlier. I was not shrunken earlier. The fact that I was shrunken now meant that I am food for Ho-Oh. Food for her stomach to digest. Ho-Oh are predatory birds, so shrunken men are something that they eat. Birds have very efficient digestive systems, so Ho-Oh's stomach alone can digest my entire body to nothing in just 30 minutes, including my bones. After about 30 minutes, I was completely digested by Ho-Oh's stomach. I was no longer of the world. Just as usual, when I am shrunken, I am naked. Clothes photoshopped in order to comply with Facebook standards. Motherfucker really took this picture naked and just had to tell the world, huh? Also, we have Mewtwo and what appears to be Dark Magician Girl just sitting by, watching all this happen like the cucks they are. And those are some of the more tame stories. I'm not taking chances with any of the other ones because they are just simply disgusting. And I'm sure YouTube wouldn't like that very much. Anyways, back to the video. If you do not want to hear about Justin's fetishes, I have bad news for you. First of all, I already told you most of them, and second, he would have beaten me to it if you ever interacted with him.
Justin is not at all ashamed of any of this, which is probably the worst part. Ever since 2008, Justin has been like a forum cryptid, just appearing out of the ether to derail any conversation into his disgusting pastimes. He has been banned from countless forums online, many of which being completely non-fetish related Pokemon forums. Justin cannot comprehend the fact that most people do not want to hear about your disgusting fantasies. You know you are a special brand of fiend when actual fetish communities think that you are weird. There was a point where Justin was set on filming and producing a documentary about vor. It consumed, no pun intended, just about every single facet of his life, to the point where he does not even realize how strange it is. They told him obviously no, they don't want their freaking sexual preferences filmed and put on a documentary, and Justin just couldn't understand this. For some reason, this is just so fascinating to him that he feels like he needs to show it to the world like it's some kind of fucking nature documentary, or like some bit of life-changing information. Even the people in these degenerate online spaces are more socially aware than this guy. It is unbelievable. As we've seen, Justin has quite the spicy and stinky online footprint. I want you to know that somehow all of this gets so much worse. Most of what I've shown you was found across archives on DeviantArt, Facebook, and all of these nasty forums. And Justin was actually smarter than a lot of other lolcows, as he immediately deleted most of his content and ceased uploading almost entirely, even to the point that many believed that he had died. However, Justin is far from inactive. He isn't writing about Palkia rape fantasies or composing the worst MIDI music that you have ever heard. Rather, he is on Reddit making some quite disturbing posts. This whole video, you could have easily just written him off as some disabled person with a weird fetish. He's not hurting anybody, right? Well, this is when we start getting into zoophilic territory. For starters, he not only defends, but also admits to being sexually attracted to animals. Not just Pokemon, not just your fucking My Little Pony, no, actual animals. In case you were wondering, he is mostly drawn to birds and tigers. Imagine what that poor tiger in his room has been through. And while we're on the subject, Justin has also fantasized about drinking tiger piss. And if all of that was not bad enough, it appears that he has actually lived out his Moltres fantasy, albeit with a bird about 200 times smaller. Yep, that's right. Justin has admitted to eating bird shit, describing it as sweet with a shitty aftertaste. So we have now established that this is no longer just some fantasy to him. He is willing to do things in real life to satisfy these sick urges. And it seems like his mother is okay with this, or at least does nothing to stop him. The thing is, there's no way that she doesn't know. Although his Facebook has been sanitized, his mother still follows him. And it's clear that she would likely know about what he's doing, at least to some degree, as simply searching his name yields all of this. Not to mention, he used to be extremely active on Facebook with his fetish material, proudly showing it to the world. So either she somehow doesn't actually know about all this, or she just doesn't take it very seriously. This guy needed some kind of intervention, and it appears he never received it. So now, this is all he has: Reshiram, his sick fetishes, and zero social awareness. I'm sure you guys have already made the connection, but Justin is remarkably similar to Chris Chan. I mean, just think about it. They're both obsessed with Pokemon, they are sexually degenerate freaks, they have autism, and two of them have been married to Pokemon. If y'all somehow don't know, Jesus Christ Chan Sonichu Prime is in a polyamorous marriage with the one and only Mewtwo. I'm sure Flutter was real happy to hear about that. Justin, while he still is a gross degenerate, is obviously not as bad as some of the other people that I have covered. To be honest, you could hardly even call him a lolcow, as he rarely, if ever, feeds the trolls. The closest he has to that is him arguing with people over his fetishes on Pokemon forums. He's just living in his own little world with his fictional wife. He honestly seems quite content with his life, and that's more than many of us can say. Albeit he does fuck all nothing and is probably a drain on our tax dollars, but just keep him away from the parakeets at PetSmart and you'll be fine. Anyways, despite Justin saying some pretty questionable and disgusting things online, I really don't think he's a threat like Cyrax or Daniel, or even Chris for that matter. That being said, it's important to keep a close watch on these types of people, knowing what happened between Chris and his mom, for example. This does not mean you should go out and harass or stalk him. Nobody likes a poo toucher, except maybe Justin. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'm sorry if the audio was kind of chopped at some parts of it. I switched from Adobe Audition to SoundForge, so we're trying to get our EQ right and we're getting our fucking bitrate, all that, you know. Hence why the video was shortly delayed. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think. Like, do you want any of these slightly shorter videos on a more frequent basis? Or would you guys prefer the longer videos I used to make? Also, I would like to, I know I've said this before, but I'd like to make more than just lolcow videos. And that's why I kind of did more of a niche cow in this video. I could have easily just done some boring ass video about Nova Online or whatever, but I decided to change things up a little bit. And moving forward, I'm still gonna make lolcow videos, but I think I want to focus on like other stuff as well. I'll still keep the same channel atmosphere and everything, so that's not going away. But also, I don't want to get stuck in the niche of just making videos for lolcows. Anyways, let's farm some engagement. Who's you guys' favorite Pokemon? As a lifelong Godzilla fan, I am inclined to say Tyranitar, but also Giratina's pretty tough as well. Anyways, thank you for watching, and hit an announcement for all of you that made it to the very end. I'm going to re-upload the Cyrax video, because my channel strike has expired, and I'm just gonna make some simple edits to it, but I would really like to get that video out again as a treat for y'all. So make sure you are watching that shit when it goes up. Make sure you go to archive it or whatever if you want to still see it. And if it gets taken down, just remember I got a Rumble page and it is currently up on there. Anyways, have a good night, y'all.